cop's first duty is to the uniform.
Undercover policing is a critical yet controversial aspect of law enforcement, offering a unique and often dangerous approach to tackling serious crimes. By blending in with criminal elements, undercover agents gather crucial intelligence, disrupt criminal operations, and secure convictions that might otherwise be unattainable. However, the intense and covert nature of this work often comes with profound personal and professional consequences. This detailed exploration delves into the experiences of undercover agents, highlighting their successes, challenges, and the toll such work can take on their lives. The human element of undercover work. Undercover work is not merely about gathering evidence, it's about immersion in a different world, building trust with criminals, and often living a double life. For Steve, a seasoned undercover agent, the role became a deeply personal journey. His experiences underscore the profound impact that undercover operations can have on personal relationships and mental health. The bonds of trust and betrayal. ###. The personal toll of undercover work. Steve's story. Undercover policing is a demanding and often emotionally taxing profession, and the experiences of agents like Steve highlight the profound personal costs associated with this line of work. Steve's undercover assignments provide a poignant example of the complexities involved in forming and breaking relationships under pretenses, revealing the deep psychological and emotional impacts that such roles can have on individuals. ###. The solace of a safe space. During his undercover tenure, Steve discovered an unexpected source of comfort in his daily interactions with his mother. As he drove between Kirikiri and Whangarei, these routine calls became a rare haven where he could express his true feelings without the constant fear of being overheard. For Steve, these conversations were more than just a means of staying connected with his family. They were a vital emotional support system amidst the high-stakes environment of undercover operations. Despite the solace these calls provided, Steve was acutely aware of the potential consequences for his mother. The covert nature of his work meant that he was often unable to share the full extent of his situation or the dangers he faced. This secrecy inadvertently placed a burden on his mother, who, while unaware of the specific risks, was left to grapple with the anxiety of not knowing her son's true circumstances. The disconnect between Steve's concealed reality and the perceived danger his mother might have felt underscores the emotional strain that undercover agents often inflict on their loved ones. ###. The bittersweetness of success. As Steve's undercover operation progressed, the emotional complexity of his role deepened. The success of his mission, which involved dismantling significant criminal networks, came with a heavy personal price. The friendships he had formed with individuals under pretenses were now marked by a stark reality. The names and addresses of those he had come to know were associated with criminal investigations and search warrants. This realization brought Steve face to face with the painful dichotomy of his work. On one hand, the operation's success represented a significant achievement in his professional career. The dismantling of criminal networks not only contributed to public safety, but also validated the intense effort and risks involved in his undercover role. On the other hand, the emotional fallout for betraying individuals he had come to view as friends was deeply unsettling. Steve's internal struggle highlights a broader, recurring theme in undercover work: the necessity of betrayal for the greater good versus the profound emotional toll of such actions. For undercover agents, the process of forming genuine relationships with individuals they ultimately must deceive is an inherent aspect of their role. This duality presents a constant moral and emotional challenge, as agents must navigate the complex interplay between their professional obligations and the personal connections they develop in their covert roles. The dilemma of dual lives. The psychological burden of maintaining a dual identity is a significant challenge faced by undercover agents. Steve's story exemplifies this struggle, illustrating how the need to maintain cover can create deep internal conflicts. The relationships he built while undercover were not only strategic, but also became sources of personal connection and emotional investment. The eventual need to betray these relationships in the interest of law enforcement goals brings about a unique form of personal conflict. The emotional toll of such work extends beyond the individual agent to impact their families and close relationships. Steve's experiences underscore the broader implications of undercover work, where the necessity of deception and betrayal weighs heavily on both the agent and those who care about them. The psychological impact of living a double life, combined with the guilt of betraying friendships, creates a complex emotional landscape that can be challenging to navigate. The life of an undercover agent, risks and realities. Undercover agents live on the edge, balancing the dual demands of maintaining their cover while collecting crucial intelligence. Steve's experiences serve as a stark reminder of the high-stakes nature of undercover work and the profound personal risks involved. Pushing boundaries and facing dangers. Steve's undercover assignments placed him in perilous situations, illustrating the extreme measures agents sometimes must take to protect their identities and achieve their objectives. One notable instance involved Steve confronting a low-level criminal who began to question his authenticity.
He just opened up this bag and poured out a couple of thousand tablets of LSD onto the table.
To preserve his cover and defuse the suspect's suspicions, Steve resorted to unconventional and risky tactics. Among these, making siren noises to disorient the suspect was both a clever and dangerous maneuver. Such tactics, while effective in maintaining cover, highlight the psychological and emotional strain that undercover agents endure. The need to constantly navigate a web of deception while managing real-world risks creates a unique form of stress. Steve's ability to employ playful yet intimidating strategies like siren noises underscores the precarious balance he had to strike between maintaining his false identity and ensuring the safety of his undercover role. The psychological toll of these high-risk scenarios is immense. Agents are not only required to engage in physical danger, but also to manage the mental strain of living a double life. The constant threat of exposure and the need to outwit criminals while remaining undercover contribute to a high level of anxiety and emotional exhaustion. This relentless pressure can lead to significant psychological impacts, including stress, paranoia, and difficulty in separating professional duties from personal life. As Steve's operation drew to a close, the moral complexities of his role became increasingly apparent. The necessity of maintaining relationships with individuals who were now targets of law enforcement weighed heavily on him. The emotional burden of preparing to exit his undercover role while grappling with the implications of his actions on those he had come to regard as friends was significant. This emotional conflict is a common experience for undercover agents, who often find themselves torn between their professional responsibilities and their values. The challenges of transitioning back to normalcy. Transitioning from the intense environment of undercover work back to regular police duties presents its own set of challenges. For Steve, the shift from high-stakes undercover assignments to routine policing underscored a dramatic change in his professional life. The adrenaline-fueled, dynamic nature of undercover work stands in stark contrast to the often mundane and routine aspects of standard police duties. This transition can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction and a sense of loss, as agents struggle to adapt to their new roles and responsibilities. The psychological impact of this transition is profound. The contrast between the thrilling and dangerous world of undercover operations and the routine nature of conventional policing can leave agents feeling disillusioned or disconnected. Steve's experience exemplifies how the abrupt shift from a high-intensity role to a more traditional police function can affect an agent's morale and sense of purpose. The thrill of undercover work, with its constant challenges and high stakes, often leaves a void when agents return to more conventional duties. Similarly, Andy Harlan's transition back to ordinary life was fraught with difficulties. After successfully gathering evidence and contributing to the prosecution of dangerous criminals, Andy faced numerous challenges as he re-entered a less dynamic and more bureaucratic environment. His placement on highway patrol, a significant departure from the high-stakes scenarios he was accustomed to, highlighted the difficulties many agents face when adjusting to post-undercover life. The bureaucratic hurdles and personal threats that Andy encountered further illustrate the complications involved in transitioning back to a standard policing role. His eventual suspension from police duties due to conflicts with administrative decisions underscores the broader issues that can arise from such transitions.
It was my own reflection, and it stopped me in my tracks.
The disruption of returning to ordinary duties, coupled with the challenges of navigating administrative and personal issues, exemplifies the difficulties undercover agents often face when trying to reintegrate into standard law enforcement roles. The challenges faced by both Steve and Andy highlight the broader issue of post-undercover adjustment. The shift from the excitement and danger of undercover work to the routine and often less stimulating aspects of conventional policing can be jarring. The emotional and psychological impacts of this transition are significant, affecting not only the agents themselves, but also their colleagues and families. The impact of undercover work on agents' lives. Undercover work, while crucial for law enforcement, comes with profound personal costs. The experiences of agents like Steve and Andy highlight the deep and often challenging impact of living a double life, both on the agents themselves and their families. Personal sacrifices and emotional strain. Steve's undercover assignments reveal the substantial emotional toll that such work can impose. The need to maintain a false identity while building relationships within criminal networks creates a complex emotional landscape. Steve's close relationship with his mother, established through daily conversations during his drives, offered a rare sanctuary of genuine connection. Yet it also illustrates the dual pressures faced by undercover agents. While these interactions provided him with emotional support, they also inadvertently added to the stress of his undercover role. Steve was acutely aware that his mother's concerns for his safety, fueled by his involvement in dangerous operations, could be a source of unnecessary anxiety for her. This tension between personal safety and familial concern is a common theme among undercover agents. The need to prioritize professional responsibilities often leads to emotional sacrifices, including the strain on relationships with loved ones. The guilt associated with the deception and the potential harm to those who are close to the agent adds a layer of psychological burden. The conflict between maintaining a facade and nurturing authentic relationships underscores the emotional complexity inherent in undercover work. Andy Harlan's experience further highlights the long-term impact of undercover operations on personal safety and mental health. After his undercover role, Andy faced ongoing risks, including threats from former criminal associates. The exposure to danger didn't end with the conclusion of his undercover assignment. Instead, it continued to affect his personal life. The bureaucratic challenges he encountered, such as being placed on highway patrol and eventually facing suspension, compounded the difficulties of transitioning back to a standard role. These obstacles not only impacted his professional satisfaction, but also had a significant effect on his overall well-being. The continuous threat to personal safety, coupled with the psychological strain of living under a false identity, underscores the lasting impact of undercover work. Agents often grapple with a heightened sense of vulnerability and stress, which can affect their mental health and personal relationships long after their assignments end. The ethical and moral dilemmas. Undercover work involves navigating a complex landscape of ethical and moral dilemmas. The necessity of deception and betrayal raises profound questions about the morality of such actions and their consequences. For agents like Steve, the emotional fallout of their role is a significant consideration. Maintaining a cover often involves betraying individuals who may have come to trust or rely on the agent, creating a profound internal conflict. Steve's struggle with the ethical implications of his undercover role reflects the broader moral considerations inherent in such work. The need to deceive and manipulate, while essential for achieving law enforcement objectives, also raises questions about the personal costs of these actions. The balance between successfully dismantling criminal networks and managing the emotional and ethical ramifications of betrayal is a recurring theme in undercover operations. The tension between achieving professional goals and dealing with the moral consequences of deception is a core aspect of undercover work. Agents are often required to make difficult decisions that challenge their personal values and ethical beliefs. The emotional toll of living a double life and the impact on personal relationships add to the complexity of these moral dilemmas. The ethical implications extend beyond individual agents to the broader context of law enforcement practices. The use of deception in undercover operations raises questions about the ethical boundaries of such methods and the potential for unintended harm. Balancing the pursuit of justice with the potential costs to individuals involved is an ongoing challenge in the field of undercover work. The evolution of undercover policing, lessons learned, and future directions. Undercover policing has undergone significant evolution over the decades, reflecting changes in technology, methodology, and strategic priorities. Historically, undercover operations were characterized by rudimentary tactics and a reliance on agents' ability to blend into criminal environments. The early years of undercover work often involved high-risk scenarios with limited technological support, making these operations both challenging and dangerous. The advent of surveillance technology has revolutionized the field of undercover policing. Modern advancements, such as sophisticated tracking devices, digital communications monitoring, and advanced forensic tools, have transformed how intelligence is gathered and analyzed. These innovations have streamlined many aspects of investigations, reducing the need for prolonged undercover assignments and enabling more efficient data collection. For instance, digital surveillance allows law enforcement to monitor suspects' activities in real time, providing crucial information that might otherwise require extensive undercover work. Despite these technological advancements, the value of traditional undercover methods remains significant in certain contexts.
Career short as it was, all I was really interested in was locking up criminals. That's what it was all about.
Undercover work provides unique insights into criminal organizations and activities that technology alone cannot always uncover. The ability to establish personal connections and gain trust within criminal networks often yields intelligence that technology might miss. As law enforcement agencies continue to adapt to technological changes, balancing these innovations with the traditional techniques of undercover work is essential. The integration of new tools must be managed carefully to enhance the effectiveness of operations while preserving the critical human elements that undercover work provides. The future of undercover policing will likely involve a hybrid approach, leveraging technological advancements while maintaining the nuanced understanding that only experienced undercover agents can offer. The impact of P and changing crime trends. The rise of methamphetamine, colloquially known as P, has significantly transformed the landscape of crime and undercover policing. This potent drug has not only increased the complexity of criminal activities, but also introduced new risks and challenges for law enforcement agencies. The influence of methamphetamine on crime dynamics. Methamphetamine's impact on crime trends is profound. Known for its powerful stimulant effects, P leads to heightened aggression, paranoia, and erratic behavior among users. This unpredictability escalates the danger associated with criminal activities linked to methamphetamine, such as violent crime, property offenses, and organized drug trafficking. Criminals under the influence of meth are often more volatile and unpredictable, increasing the risk for undercover agents and complicating the execution of covert operations. The drug's presence in communities has led to the proliferation of meth labs and the involvement of more sophisticated criminal networks. These networks are often well-armed and highly organized, creating additional layers of risk for undercover agents who must navigate these dangerous environments. The challenge is not only in infiltrating these operations, but also in maintaining safety amidst heightened criminal activity fueled by methamphetamine use. Adapting law enforcement strategies. To address the challenges posed by methamphetamine, law enforcement agencies have had to adapt their strategies. This adaptation includes incorporating specialized training for undercover agents to handle the unique risks associated with meth-related operations. Agents are trained to recognize the signs of meth use and its effects on behavior, allowing them to respond effectively to the heightened dangers. Agencies are employing advanced surveillance and intelligence gathering techniques to better understand and predict meth-related criminal activities. This includes leveraging technology to monitor drug trafficking routes, identify key players in meth networks, and disrupt the supply chain before it reaches consumers. The evolution of crime trends driven by substances like methamphetamine underscores the need for continuous adaptation in law enforcement practices. As criminal behaviors and drug trends evolve, so too must the strategies employed to combat them, ensuring that undercover operations remain effective and safe. The future of undercover policing. The future of undercover policing will be shaped by the ongoing balance between technological advancements and traditional methods. As criminal activities become increasingly sophisticated and dynamic, law enforcement agencies must adapt to new challenges while leveraging the lessons learned from past undercover operations. Technological integration and innovation. Advancements in technology are poised to play a crucial role in the evolution of undercover policing. Enhanced surveillance tools, data analytics, and digital forensics offer new capabilities for intelligence gathering and crime prevention. Technologies such as AI and machine learning can analyze vast amounts of data to identify patterns and predict criminal behavior, potentially reducing the need for prolonged undercover operations. However, despite these technological innovations, the inherent value of traditional undercover methods remains significant. The ability to infiltrate criminal networks and gather first-hand intelligence continues to be essential, especially in situations where technology alone may fall short. Undercover agents provide a unique perspective and personal interaction that technology cannot replicate, making their role indispensable in complex investigations. Balancing technology and human insight. The challenge for law enforcement agencies will be to balance the use of advanced technology with the nuanced skills of undercover operations. While technology can enhance operational efficiency and safety, the human element, undercover agents' ability to build relationships, assess situations, and make split-second decisions remains critical. Agencies will need to ensure that technological tools complement, rather than replace, the strategic and psychological aspects of undercover work. Lessons from the past. The experiences of past undercover agents provide valuable insights into the successes and limitations of current practices. By reflecting on historical cases and adapting strategies accordingly, law enforcement can refine its approach to undercover operations. This includes learning from the emotional and ethical challenges faced by agents and incorporating these lessons into future training and operational strategies. Outro. Undercover policing remains a vital tool in law enforcement, offering unique advantages in tackling serious and organized crime. However, the personal and professional costs associated with this work are significant. The experiences of agents like Steve and Andy illustrate the complex interplay between achieving law enforcement goals and managing the emotional and ethical challenges of undercover work. As the field continues to evolve, the lessons learned from past operations will inform future practices, ensuring that undercover policing remains an effective and essential component of the criminal justice system.